Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now Vivo is going to be launching their X90 series in a couple of weeks now, and I'm sure many of you out there are very excited because we've already seen the device being launched in China, but the device is finally coming to the global markets. Now right here in Malaysia, I actually have the very rare opportunity to actually unbox the X90 here to share with you guys what this phone is all about, what came in the box, and I unfortunately do not have the X90 Pro yet, but I will get that in a couple of perhaps weeks, maybe after Chinese New Year. But today's video is all about the vivo X90, the budget flagship. So let's see what this device has to offer in today's first impressions video. Now before we begin, of course, if you are new to the channel, I definitely want to say hi to you guys. And if you're feeling happy, don't forget to just sub to the channel to see more tech content here with me. Now with that said, let's jump straight into the unboxing. Now as soon as I got the box, I noticed that the box itself came in a very interesting texture. The texture is fused of those leather, those vegan leather kind of texture that you will see on most smartphones. And as soon as you pop the lid, right away you can see that I have my device here, and my version is actually in blue. It's called Breeze Blue. Now as soon as we make our way to the bottom of the packaging, we see that we have two individual boxes here. One of them actually contains the 120 watt flash charger that is actually going to be super fast, and on the other end you will see that we have here the Type-C cable. Now moving on to the side, we also see that we have the SIM pin ejector, followed by that squeegee transparent casing that all of you guys will probably love. Now with that said, those are pretty much the accessories that came with the vivo X90. So now, the moment of truth, let us unwrap this Breeze Blue vivo X90. Alright, so now that we've got the vivo X90 unboxed and everything, I just want to share with you my first impressions on the design. I noticed that the design of the X90, right now, it actually looks much more minimalist and cleaner compared to the X80. The Breeze Blue, the shade of blue, is also very different from the very bright Tiffany blue that we saw on the X80, and depending on your preference for color, you might either like this or you might prefer the previous one. Anyway, I do like this X90 very much. I think the new shade of blue is actually more subtle and it's not so flashy. So this is actually a color that I may actually rock on my daily. Other than that, you will notice that we do have this extreme imagination, one stripe going across the back panel here, and I think it's also quite alright. And you do have that Zeiss logo. Now that is the most important part because we're going to talk a little bit more about those cameras afterwards. You also have that T-star coating on the back of this camera lens, so that means that you will have those reduced glares, when you shoot against like really bright objects and everything like that. You will not have a lot of flare or glare onto your images. Other than that, you will notice that we do have here a very slim profile. Similar to the vivo X80, you have curved sides on the back as well as a curved display on the front, and overall, it does feel very much like a premium flagship, just like what you would expect from a vivo X series device. So that is pretty much my first impressions on how this device feels, and so far everything has been off to a positive start. Alright, so now let's talk a bit about those numbers. I can't really go in depth for a review here because I'm still testing this device out. The review will come in probably a couple more days to come, but do stay tuned for that. So in terms of the numbers, what do we have here? Well, we are seeing a couple of improvements to the vivo X80 from last year. This time round, in terms of the processor, we do have a Dimensity 9200, and that is actually approximately 20% slightly better compared to previous Dimensity 9000. Other than that, we also have slightly better RAM and storage here. We do have 12GB of RAM and 256GB of internal memory, but what's really cool here is that the storage itself uses UFS 4.0. That means transferring files, basically using your apps on the phone itself will be a little bit more faster than the already fast UFS 3.1. Other than that, you might notice that although the device seems very similar in terms of thickness levels to the vivo X80, you actually do get a slightly larger battery in here. So if I recall correctly, this is a 4810 mAh battery, and like I said, we do have that 120 watt flash charger, which actually charges up the X90 very, very fast. So apparently it does 0 to 50% in just 8 minutes, guys. That's under 10 minutes. And if you charge 0 to 100%, it will just take only 25 minutes, guys. So again, a very, very fast charging speeds here on that larger battery with the vivo X90. Alright, so another upgrade that we are seeing here, and something that I actually appreciate a lot, is in terms of that display at the front. Previously, I wouldn't say that the display on the X80 is poor or anything like that, but it does lack a little bit more, true deep black backs of its AMOLED panel. Right now, I would say that it's slightly improved. We have this very saturated, colors that pop out at you kind of display at the front here. It is of course a 120Hz OLED display. Refresh rate is fast, that means everything is going to be buttery smooth. But the main difference I would say here, that one of the biggest upgrades to the display here is not that it's still curved, but the fact that it now comes in UHD. That means the resolution is a little bit higher than before as well. So the PPI is now, I think, approximately 400 plus pixels per inch. That means in terms of just image quality, everything is going to look very sharp on this display. Right, now on to the final point here, the cameras. You must be waiting for that. So what's actually new with the cameras at the back? Well, just in terms of the megapixel count, you are actually getting a very similar setup to the vivo X80. You still have that 50 megapixel main sensor, you have a 12 megapixel ultra wide and a 12 megapixel telephoto lens for those portraits. So just in terms of the megapixel count, the sensor size as well is all similar to the vivo X80. However, Vivo has said that they have done a little bit of tweaking to the colors for the main sensor, so we might actually experience a different kind of look with that 50 megapixel main sensor. But again, like I said, I will be testing this device out and I'll share the results with you guys. Another major upgrade here is in terms of the V2 chip that's in here that will actually help the imaging, to just make colors that are a little bit more natural. And of course, if you want pictures that actually pop, you can actually just turn off that Zeiss mode. Zeiss mode on the vivo X90 really means that it comes in those super natural kind of colors. That means it might be a little bit bland for you guys out there, but again, there's the option to turn that off so you have those colors that pop. I was a little bit disappointed that the vivo X90 did not come with that 1-inch sensor that is on the Pro as well as the Pro Plus, but I'm still very excited to check this out, see how this device performs. After all, we have seen a lot of upgrades in terms of the processor, the storage, in terms of the battery, faster charging, a higher resolution display, so it is off to a good start here. There's a lot of improvements, but let me just try out the camera and give you guys feedback in the full review. Alright, so with that said, thank you guys so much for staying all the way to the end and checking out this vivo X90. If there is anything specific that you guys want me to check out for you, please leave a comment down below. This device will be launching really soon here in Malaysia, and of course this is the global version. That means it's going to be the same one that you guys get for the rest of the world. Again, thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Stay safe everybody. Bye!